Now, why do I think that that's such a big deal? This is going to be Cambodia's first onshore oil and gas development. It will, in our opinion, change the nation. But I believe if we can move within the timelines that we propose, then we'll be drilling the first onshore wells in the Kingdom of Cambodia.
Delayne Weeks, Angkor Resources. Good morning to you, my friend. How are you?
I'm really well, Andy. Thanks very much for asking. And again, I really appreciate you giving us the time to chat about some great news.
Yeah, so I want to get down to a minute. First, I want to get a disclosure. I am a very active investor in Angkor Resources, as well as Angkor is a sponsor to the channel. Just full disclosure, my opinion is biased, and I'm a very happy shareholder. Delayne, we just had some great news hit. I want you to tell me all about it, tell the audience, and also I'm very happy as a shareholder about this.
Okay, so we have been granted the final nod from the government to advance on the onshore Cambodia Block 8, which is now down to about 3,720 some square kilometers.
Hold on.
That's a milestone. Woohoo! I am thrilled. We received the final nod at 3 a.m. our time last night or tonight, I guess. And so we are very, very pleased and are going to go ahead with that. Now, why do I think that that's such a big deal? This is going to be Cambodia's first onshore oil and gas development. It will, in our opinion, change the nation. But I believe if we can move within the timelines that we propose, then we'll be drilling the first onshore wells in the Kingdom of Cambodia. And that's pretty cool. We've looked at all the licenses. This was our first choice. We know what our second and third choice would be if we go after another one. But this first one, really, really important.
Well, I just collapsed and I just tried to interrupt you, but I think you're so excited. So I'll tell you now, congratulations to you, the company, to myself, and the shareholders. Long time coming, and the hard work, and there's much more hard work that needs to be done, of course, but really, I guess the weight is somewhat, the anticipation and the weight is so much over. We're moving forward. So really cannot express my gratitude to you and to everybody involved into this. And yeah, just great news. Let me ask you real quick, how transformative is this to the Kingdom of Cambodia?
Well, I'm sure you can appreciate that a nation without its own source of energy has a level of dependency that we can't live without energy, right? I mean, in whatever form it comes in. So Cambodia has a limited amounts from hydropower, but and a bit of solar, but ultimately having your own base of energy in the country, I believe it will transform the nation. I believe it will set out a whole new sector of professionals in an industry that is long-term and sustaining. And that means you've got a workforce it's like a brand new industry in the entire country. And also, given all the upheaval globally, I think it makes us vulnerable when we're dependent on other nations to get the items that need to heat our homes and cook our food and et cetera, et cetera. So I think it's going to be a major, major change to the nation.
Yeah, I do too. I think it'll be, you're very interested, no, interested is the wrong word. I said you're very intentional and put a lot of time being in Cambodia and then just building relationships with not only the government and the administration there, but also people on the ground. And you really do care about the people. It's been in every interview that I had. I'm very grateful to you for that, just doing this responsibly. But let's get back, if I can pull on that string a little bit more. There's so much going on into the world right now. Are you guys, how's that going to affect you, if you would?
Great, great question, Annie. And it's certainly something that we have pondered um, over the last year to say, okay, where are the shifts? What's happening here? Mm, But this is Southeast Asia. Again, this is, we've got production in Vietnam. We got production in Thailand. It surrounds Cambodia, but it's still leaving Cambodia in a vulnerable position. So do I think that, you know, things that may be happening elsewhere in the world are going to impact this particular project? Actually, if there's impact, I think it will be positive because it's going to give Cambodia some strength and allow it some independence. And that's not going to affect anything in North America or Europe or Australia, or it's really a kind of a regional issue. And I think it's a very, very sound platform on which to move forward. Is that, don't get me wrong, it's not that we're oblivious to what's happening in the Gaza Strip or anything like that. It's just that elsewhere in the world, those issues are going to continue to evolve with or without our participation. And so therefore our goal, and I've said this years ago on the minerals, we are not there to change government policy. We are there to move our projects forward and bring value to our shareholders despite what's happening. And I would say the same for this project. That's our goal. Move this forward despite what's happening, find the positives, bring value to our shareholders. And I don't think Cambodia having its own source of oil and gas, and if that happens in 12 months, 18 months, 20 months, 24 months, it's not going to change the other factors that are well outside of the country.
Got it. Let's talk about this. You're talking about a timeline. Walk me through the timeline moving forward over the next 9 to 12 months. What are some target dates that you're looking for? If you can share those, and if you can't, just tell me
Sure.
that investors need to be aware of, or potential investors need to be aware of, because you. It sounds like you're going to have a steady stream of news throughout the next several months.
I expect we will. So as of 3 a.m. last night, we made a call and said, okay, let's move this. Let's start the initial environmental impact assessment. That's going to take a couple of months. We are not able to work on the ground until that is complete and signed off by the Ministry of Environment. So that's happening immediately. We're starting on that. However, at the same time, our geoscientists are going through all the data, and I have seen seismic lines laid out on, here's where this is going to go, and this is what we're going to target on the various basins. And there are 6 of them identified now within our license area. So as soon as that environmental assessment is complete, we will look to be starting seismic. So we're analyzing the existing seismic, and there's 2 lines on that license that are in. So our scientists will be going through that data and refining what we have. The seismic itself, the new stuff that we'll start in May or June, that's probably going to take probably through to July. And by July, we're in rainy season. We're going to need at least 3. We're going to need several months for analysis and interpretation of that. Then it's decision time. Then we have 2 choices. If we're gutsy and we are really confident, we could drill an exploratory well. And that could happen by the end of this year. And that's 9 months away. Or we could choose to do more seismic. And again, we won't know that until we do this first set of seismic. But here's the pros and the cons. We drill a well, it's going to be vertical, And why? Because then we get all the zones. We get to log every zone right down to total depth. Total depth will probably be about 3,000 meters. And with that, they then identify, okay, do we, let's say at 1,200 meters, hey, we got some nice distance and depth here. We've got some hydrocarbons showing in the drill core. Maybe we could do horizontal well out from there, or maybe we should do more 2D and 3D seismic at that level to say how far out can we go? Can we go 1 kilometer? Can we go 5 kilometers? Can we? So that's the decision. But we expect to be very, very active in the next 12 months. It will be honestly nonstop with activity and testing and analysis. And so we're really, yeah, I'm so grateful to be able to start this. It's been a long journey, and patience is not one of my virtues. So it's it's been helpful. But I think worst case scenario, I think we're drilling in 24 months or less. Best case scenario, we're drilling in 12 months.
Excellent. And if I can work that a little bit as well, when you say drilling here, what is production? When would production be coming online?
Andy, it's really, it has to be dependent on the wells that we drill and what we're finding. So I can't, you can only produce what you manage to reach with drill, with a well drill core. If we find what we think we're going to find, then, if you drill and you hit, you can do two things. You can shut it in and go drill another one so that you have prove out the zone. Or you can bring in tanks, containment, make arrangements for water disposal. So again, I think those are decisions that we will make after that first exploratory well and when we see the results. But there certainly are A, B, and C cases. If this happens, then we do this. If this happens, personally, I would sooner drill 3 or 4 or 5 wells and shut them in until we get them all ready. And then you bring in containment, and then you bring in tanks, and then you join them, and then you're trucking your crude oil to port. That would be my preference. But again, we're not going to know until we actually do the first 1 or 2 exploratory wells.
Got it. So, I can recap that, and I have, I've owned several, very small producing wells in the Midwest here in the US. And, if I could just tell our listeners and viewers, this is how I understand what you're saying. So first you're going to drill a horizontal well. There's different zones that you're hitting as you go down, right? I'm sorry,
Right.
a vertical well.
A vertical. Thank you. Yeah, vertical one.
You hit one, then you hit another, then you hit another, you just keep on going. And that all goes up into the, well, really. So you don't really know how much you have. It's really hard. I don't want to say hard. That's the wrong word. Now, this is what Delayne gets paid for right here, because these are going to be some really good decisions, but also hard decisions. And you don't want to go too fast, because then you don't know exactly what you have. Correct me if I'm wrong, Delayne. You want to get the maximum you can out of this area, if you would, if that means 1 well or if that means 5. So ideally, or 10 or whatever, ideally you want to do as much as you can that won't damage the zones below you, if you would. And you want to be optimal to get as much out. So right now it's like Delayne and the team is working like frantic, but also as investors, this is great news, but also we need to contain ourselves a little bit. With even more patience. It's like, okay, let's see what we got. Now here we go.
Yep.
And if the investors want to know, what we think we have, go look at the other videos that we have, Delayne and I have shot, the other interviews. And I think you'll be very happy, very impressed. So,
Yeah,
so
I think that's accurate, Andy. Look, we're targeting two whole different kinds of mineral of resource here. One is based on a four-land sedimentary basin. These are big basins. There's over 600 of them in the world. The Western Canadian one happens to be the second largest in the world. So when you run into this kind of formation, and there are certain things that make it up, there's mountains and all of which appears to be the case in Cambodia. Those generally run between 50 million and 400 million barrels by the time so they're big, they're massive. They're like, it's, there's also an area where we found all these surface seeps. And in Thailand, in the Phitsanulok play, they have they're still producing 350 million barrels.
Yeah.
And how did they find it? They found it with surface seeps.
Yeah.
So normally in Canada, we would kind of go, okay, we think we've got this kind of a play. This is what we're drilling. In Cambodia, we actually have two. And that's, not only are the seeps exciting, but the fact that we have the makings of a potential four-land sedimentary basin sitting right there. Plus, we got these surface seeps as well. I guess people say, why are you so confident that you think you got hydrocarbons? I say, because they're staring at us. We're standing on the earth under which they are sitting right now. And in places they're not sitting, they're coming up. So I really, I think it's going to be some exciting times. And of course, the shallow ones, the surface ones, these are shallower basins, so we don't have to drill as deep. But our first focus are going to be three basins that we think are in this four-land sedimentary formation.
Got it. One other question that I have as you're going, I guess, if you're discussing this is, and I want to make sure all of my viewers and listeners understand this. You are the only company that has this right to do this as of right now in Cambodia. Is that correct?
That is accurate. To the best of my knowledge, there are no other licenses that have been marked for an entity taking them and undergoing oil and gas development. So,
yeah. Well, that is huge news. I think not only, first of all, to transform the country. Yes, to also transform the company, but just all the lives that you're impacting. But you really have, as of right now, you're it. So, well done. Yeah. And it should be too. It's you guys put in the work. So,
there's always good and bad with being in first, right? It's lots and lots of pressure, and you're educating people every step of the way. I used to say years ago when I was it would be nice to be fourth or fifth because it's pretty smooth sailing then, but you don't have to break trail. But we're here, we're excited, we're going to make the best of it, and I think we're pretty keen to fast track this.
Yeah. Well, fantastic. Again, congratulations to you. Congratulations to all of us. And we'll have you on again really, really soon. Again, to discuss the news that's coming in. Anything you'd like to leave prospective investors with or investors with right now?
No, I think, Andy, what you see is what you get with us. We'll be upfront about whatever we can be upfront about and can disclose at this point. And I think we've done that. There's some really good news coming. So follow us, take a look and I look forward to doing several more of these with Andy in short order, because we have, without meaning to sound pompous, we have something to say, and it's valuable and it's credible and it's of substance. So follow us.
Yeah, excellent. And again, I am a shareholder. I've been averaging in really throughout. I started buying last year and also started averaging in even more as this new year 25 has progressed. So I am of a biased opinion, just so everybody knows that, and I'm very happy. Delayne, thank you so much. I'm very happy, very grateful, and can't wait to continue to tell the story of Angkor Resources.
Great. Thanks very much, Andy. Have a wonderful day.
You bet. Bye bye.
Bye.